If you've ever wanted to create content for your small business and have no idea where to start, or you've just wondered how people make those clean, cohesive videos, then this one is for you. Hi, I'm Mia, and I've been growing my small business and documenting it here on YouTube for over 2 years. What started as posting studio vlogs every week about my business has now turned into full-time content creation alongside my business. And with a lot of time, consistency, and honestly a lot of experimenting, I've learned how to make content that feels authentic to me and helps my brand grow all at the same time. In today's video, I wanted to take you behind the scenes of that process, from how I plan my ideas, film my clips, edit those videos, and how I stay consistent without burning out. However, I'm still kind of figuring out that last one, because honestly, when you're the one creating the products and also the content, it can feel like a lot. So if you're trying to get better at short form content, or if you just want a clearer look on how I do it, get comfy and enjoy. Let's get right into it. I have been really trying to focus more on my content, the quality of my content when it comes to short form, Instagram, TikTok, and even YouTube with long form videos. But today we're going to be talking all about short form content and how to create content that genuinely stands out and that really establishes your own brand voice, whether you are a content creator, a small business owner, a bookish creator. These tips can be applied to any different niche and just adjusted as needed. So I'm so excited to be sharing everything that I do in my content creation process and kind of just giving you guys the deep dive. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. The first part is going to be the foundation of your content. The idea of content pillars is something that I've heard about a lot when I first started trying to learn more about content creation and short form content in specific. It is super important to kind of pick different areas of expertise that you want your content to embody. So for example, my content creation process, I do like lifestyle, cozy vlogs, small business tips, cozy crafting and sewing, and then I also do like wellness, a little bit of like Pilates, wellness girly kind of thing. When you're first establishing your content pillars and really trying to figure out like what exactly you want to post, you want to make sure that it's something that you actually enjoy doing and that kind of meshes with, say for example, if you're a small business owner, you want to create content pillars that are the same vibe of what you're doing. Say for example, a bookish business. So my small business was mainly focused around literary inspired goods and bookish and book talk. For my business's content pillars, if I was just strictly doing small business content, bookish content, which would be anything that kind of appeals to the direct consumer. So like current reads, what I'm reading, what I'm loving, my current 5 stars, or my last current and next read. So I'd focus on bookish content. Then I would focus on small business content. So that would be product posts, product reels, sharing about finished products, new restocking, things like that. Then I would share behind the scenes. So how it's made, if you hand make everything. I would show unboxing new inventory, designing a new collection, kind of giving your viewers a little bit of insight into how the product creation process goes. And then I would probably do maybe some small business days in the life where you could show maybe a day in the life after a product launch or a day in the life receiving new inventory. And I've seen a lot of success by doing that myself. When I was in like the peak of running my small business, I was doing a lot of content within those same content pillars, which is why I use that as an example. And I saw a lot of growth, a lot of engagement, and mainly engagement is the number one thing you want to think about when trying to create content, because if you're trying to build your platform, you want to build it on the basis of engagement and loyal followers and people who genuinely enjoy you as a content creator, rather than just getting that quick viral video, getting thousands of followers that are never going to look at your account ever again. Content pillars are important when thinking about short form content because viewers like consistency. They want to follow you for the content that they know they like and that they know they're going to see again and that they want to continue to see. So if you are posting content within those 4 pillars and recycling ideas and staying within that umbrella, your viewers are going to enjoy that because that's what they followed you for. And if you're just kind of posting random things and not really sticking to some sort of plan and just posting random trends and posting like millions of different types of topics, viewers are going to find it hard to follow you because they don't know why they're following you and what they're following you for. If you're kind of like known for something, I've seen that viewers tend to follow more and engage with your post more because they want to follow you for the content and the quality that you're giving them. When it comes to generating ideas, this can be kind of difficult, and this is where a lot of people are like, well,
I want to post content but I don't know what to post, or I want to start posting about my small business but I'm not sure what I want to post.
So here's how I generate my content ideas. First things first, I always like to capitalize on trends when I can and when they apply to me. There are so many different trends that are constantly being invented and cycling, and trends usually have a very short period of time where they are very popular and that will gain traction. So I tend to follow like social media management pages on TikTok and Instagram that kind of help me get ahead of the trends, and they'll kind of pick out trends that they see that are currently trending or that they see that are going to be trending. And I kind of like to pay attention to those and see when I can use those trends and apply it to my content pillars, and if that can even apply to anything that I post. So trends are definitely a big one that I like to do every so often. I don't like to make that the main form of my content, but I do like to obviously take advantage of some trends when they apply to my content. When I am filming content, I like to turn things that I already do on a daily basis into content. So this could be anything from a day in my life, working at a coffee shop, how I'm working on my rebrand, sewing new projects. The Christmas time, I've been using a lot of the content of me sewing gifts for my family and sewing new projects for myself as this time to film content and take advantage of something that I'm already doing and film that. Another thing is sewing home decor for my house. That's something I've been doing a lot lately, and I've been trying to film all the different projects that I'm doing to create different pieces of content. Another way that I turn my ideas into content is to pick some challenges that I'm going through. I recently posted something on Instagram where I talked about how I am currently going through my 20s life crisis and how a lot of people kind of go through that in their early 20s. And I was talking a lot about how closing my shop and working on my rebrand and kind of not knowing what I want to do and figuring out one step at a time how I'm going to navigate this, whether I want to go to a 9-to-5, whether I want to continue self-employment, whether I want to start a new business. Those things are interesting to viewers. A lot of other people may be going through similar things, and you can really connect with viewers on that relatability. And I think that kind of sometimes turning it into a teaching moment and something that kind of gives viewers inspiration and motivation to continue working through whatever it is you're talking about can definitely be something that helps reach viewers that you would want to have on your page. My golden rule with filming content when it comes to my small business or just my brand in general is if I'm already doing it, I might as well film it. I am constantly filming B-roll. While it can be a little bit exhausting to kind of always be on, most of the time it's not a video of me and I don't have to be necessarily ready and put together like today. I tend to film my hands if I'm working on the computer, if I'm sewing, if I'm cleaning, if I'm organizing. I am always filming it for B-roll and keeping it on my phone because you never know what kind of video you can turn it into. And then obviously using seasonal moments. Like I mentioned, I'm doing a lot of sewing for the holidays and for gifts. So I've been really utilizing this time to film a lot of content. It is nice that I have a lot of free time since this is technically my full-time job, which is creating content at the moment. So I have been really able to use that time to make content and film all the things that I'm currently doing. And in this season, holidays, the fall time, very, very great time to start making seasonal content while still staying on your pillars. You are just turning it into a little bit of a seasonal flair and giving it more current feelings. In order to organize my ideas, because I feel like, yes, you can think about all these ideas, but if you don't have somewhere to store it, it gets a little bit crazy. So I keep a master notes list on my iPhone of all the different ideas that I generate. And this is basically just a huge brain dump of things. It often looks really messy and sometimes the concepts don't really make sense, or I'll be screenshotting a TikTok with a caption or a trend and putting it in that note. I basically just leave that as like a big mess and just leave that as like a dumping page and for all of my ideas so that I can later go back, pick them, refine them, categorize them in my system that I'm going to show you in a second. I like to keep my content pillar list on my Notion content dashboard. I have a video way back in January where I showed you guys my Notion dashboard. I definitely have updated it so much since then, so I'm going to be filming a brand new Notion dashboard tour in December or early January, so stay tuned for that. But in my Notion, in my content creation page, I have a section where I have my content pillars, and this is where I will go in and categorize all those ideas from my brain dump and categorize them underneath all the pillars so that when I'm ready to go and plan and film videos, I can pick different concepts from different pillars so that I'm constantly cycling through. And then I also use the save button like it's my best friend on TikTok and Instagram. I save trending audios and trending TikToks that I want to recreate at a later date. When it comes to planning your content, it really depends on what kind of planner you are. I am very much type A. I need to have everything planned out and laid out in front of me in order to make my process smooth. Like even for this video, I have my laptop here with all of my points and I've kind of structured this video. I go into planning a video almost all the time with an idea of how I want my video to look in the end. And I feel this really helps my process be very well rounded rounded because I go into it knowing already some of the shots that I want, what I want my viewers to feel, how I want the video to feel, lighting, scenes, all that kind of stuff. I have a 3-scene formula when it comes to filming my short form content. The first thing is going to be your hook, whether it's visual or it's audible or it is readable. I tend to mix different hooks together depending on the kind of video. Fast-paced clips in the very beginning, a talking head video of me saying something out of pocket, an interesting tripod shot, something that you don't see very often, like overhead, behind the body, like a view of you, or even an introduction to an issue, like I never knew I needed this until, or who was going to tell me that this was the worst way to be doing things. It makes people want to see, like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? So having a hook in the beginning of your video is definitely going to encourage viewers to stop scrolling because that's what you want. Again, it doesn't always have to be something that you're saying. It can be an interesting tripod shot. It could even be a little cool intro that is captivating and interesting. Then I like to do the process. So this usually includes a ton of B-roll. This could be B-roll of me, depending on the kind of video it is. It could be sewing B-roll, the day in my life clips. This would be where I have the bulk of my content of me doing things during my day. And basically this takes up the bulk of my video. And then at the end of the video, I like to have a payoff or a message or kind of like a close off. Usually this would apply to my voiceovers. I would say not so much when I'm doing like ASMR clips, but definitely when I'm doing voiceovers and more of a storytelling reel, having a close off or an end to a problem, that definitely really helps make the video feel well-rounded. And this kind of goes hand in hand with the hook. If you start off your video with, I never knew this was the wrong way to do this, during the process part is when you're going to talk about all the things why it is the wrong way. And then at the end, you're going to end up at the conclusion of what is the right way or what is the right product that you found out to use instead. I feel like that's a very interesting way to keep viewers engaged because they want to see the end solution. A tip when you're filming short form content, if you are going to be prioritizing storytelling reels or process reels, is to film more B-roll than you think you need. Trust me, because when you get to editing your video and you realize you did not film enough for this video, you're going to be kicking yourself because sometimes I film videos where I have set something up and if I don't film enough B-roll, I have to reset it up, change into the clothes that I was before and kind of make it look like I didn't just refilm this 5 days later. So film more B-roll than you think you need because you can always delete it after if you don't need it. When I'm planning my content, also like to then further categorize them high effort versus low effort ideas. This categorization system is something that I introduced this year and I have found that it has helped me so much when figuring out which ideas and concepts I want to turn into actual videos and when I can actually film them. A lot of the videos that I film lately have been sewing content and small business related things. So sometimes if I'm sewing a full tutorial for TikTok, it is going to take me a long time because I have to make sure I'm following all the steps, showing it very visually and really giving a clear tutorial. Then the editing process also takes a long time for tutorials because I've got to clip everything, match the voiceover, add the text, etc. So I really like to think about my concepts and like I said, I go into a lot of planning and concept video ideas with an idea of how I want it to turn out. So usually this is really easy for me to figure out what is a low effort versus what is a high effort. For me, a low effort video would be something like a day in my life, a morning in my life, or filming a video of me sewing that isn't going to be a tutorial video because it doesn't require a lot of thought and planning. I basically am just setting my tripod up, filming something that I'm already doing rather than me having to actually film myself making something and making it with the intention of being a tutorial. I hope that makes sense. And depending on your niche and what your content planning is going to vary a lot what your high effort versus your low effort. But for me, I find low effort videos to be a lot of the time videos that don't have me in it, so my face, when I'm filming that's something that I'm already doing, whether it be a packaging and order video or a day in my life, morning in my life, evening in my life, an organization video, cleaning video. Like those are things I'm already doing, so I might as well get my phone out and start recording it. Whereas videos that require a little bit more planning and are a bit more thought out, that have a storyline, those are a bit more difficult because I've really got to make sure I get all of the key shots that I planned out. I set my tripod up in interesting angles. I get my clips for the hook. I make sure that I look presentable if it's something where I am the star of the show. I hope that kind of helps give a little bit of a differentiation between high effort versus low effort. I think this goes a little bit more into storytelling videos, which is something that I think is very useful for growing your social media, not just for small businesses, but just in general for wellness girls, lifestyle girls. You want to make unselfish content. I've been seeing this all over, and it makes so much sense because the videos that I like the most and that I engage with and the people that I follow, they make unselfish vlogs. They make unselfish content. So whenever I'm planning videos that are going to be storytelling or a little bit more elaborate where I really have to plan stuff, the first thing I do is I go in, plan my script. I will usually, if it's a voiceover, I will plan my script by first starting off with anything that I think of when I think of this video. So whether it be a certain line, a problem, an end to the solution, or kind of like the vibe that I want the video to be, I will start off with that, and then I will kind of build my script around that first concept. After I have planned my script is when I then go in and plan my shot list. This has been also something that I've been doing this year, and I have seen such great results with the reception of my content, but also how much easier it has been to actually film the content. I love categorizing my shot list into 3 different categories: wide angle shots, medium shots, and close-up shots. Wide angle shots are going to be shots that set the scene. I really like to show my viewer where I am and what I'm doing, and the area around me makes them feel like they're here with me. I think it really sets the tone for the video, and this is going to really set up how the rest of your video is going to go. Medium shots or action shots are going to be things that you're doing. So me sewing or moving the fabric around, clipping the fabric, zipping up the zipper, walking around, putting my eggs in the pan, moving the pan over to the other burner. Those things are going to be action shots, which is a lot of the bulk of your video. Then close-up detail shots are going to be things that show things in more detail, obviously. So really getting up close to the needle of the fabric, or showing your craft or hobby, but really showing it in detail. Your action, but like zoomed in. Think about zooming in on something that you're doing and showing it in more detail, giving your viewers a better idea of like what it looks like. I have a full Notion planner page when it comes to short form that has a section for my hook, the vibe, the caption, the B-roll, the shot list planner. So I will leave a link to that in the description below. It's completely free. You can just duplicate it and make your own template. You can adjust it as you need. You can use it just as it is, but I love organizing my content this way. I just feel like it has made my type A brain so much simpler, and I can feel relaxed when I'm planning my content. Let's talk about actually filming the content. Depending on if you're filming a low effort or high effort video, sometimes your filming checklist is going to adjust slightly, but some of the main rules of thumb I like to think about when talking about filming is your tripod and your lighting. Those 2 things are going to make or break your content, dare I say. Good lighting is so important. Not everybody has access to big, humongous windows like the ones I have in my apartment. However, there are so many different ways that you can adjust your lighting, whether that be by getting some external lights, lamps, cozy lighting, mood lighting, candles. You can really set the tone of your video. I have a little candle warmer in here to kind of warm up the vibe of my video because the light outside is very bright and white. It is a gloomy day, so good lighting is so important, and it really can make or break your content. I feel like a lot of people will tend to watch videos that are brighter and well lit over videos that are not well lit and they look grainy because it's so dark. So prioritizing good lighting is really essential to make your content stand out. The other thing is tripods. Now I fear I am a tripod connoisseur because I have tried so many different tripods in the past, and I have finally found the one that I love the most for short form content. So there are 3 different types of tripods that I've used in the past. My main tripod is this one here. It has this like spring loaded clamp here for my phone, and it opens on the bottom like this to put it on the ground. And then these little things clamp and you can bring it up. I have used this tripod for the past 4 years, however long I've had my business and made content. This is how long I've had this tripod. It has worked so well for me, but there are some things that I have issues with. When it comes to this piece here, my phone is almost always crooked. I am constantly having to adjust my footage during editing to straighten it out because it's always crooked, because something about this little piece, it just doesn't want to fit my phone. It is made for my size phone and it just doesn't want to fit it. This is a very good tripod. It just has some little things that I don't prefer. Then there is a clip loaded mount. I will put a picture of it on the screen here, which is very similar to this. It's just this phone attachment is different, and instead of it being spring loaded so you can push it open and do that, you actually like clamp it and you turn it so that it can squish your phone in. That one just takes way too much time. It just takes too much time. It takes 2 hands to do this, and when I'm trying to film content and I need to be efficient with my time and I'm trying to move the tripod, get the angles, do what I'm doing, and not spend like 8 hours on this, it definitely does slow down my process. I recently picked up this tripod from Amazon that has a MagSafe attachment here, and it has like a button here. You open the legs and then you open it up and you go on about your content. What I love about the MagSafe tripods is that my phone is MagSafe. I just attach my phone on and I can film my content in literally 5 seconds. It takes 1 hand. I don't need 2 hands to put my phone in, and I can move my tripod everywhere I go, and my phone can actually be straight. The one thing about this specific tripod is that it doesn't go past here. So if I'm trying to get specific shots, specifically when I'm sewing, because I do a lot of sewing content, it is very difficult to get those overhead shots because it only goes to this angle. This is where I'm brought to my newest find. Thank you to TikTok for showing me this tripod, because I'm forever grateful. This is the same type of tripod as the one I just showed you, where it is MagSafe and it has a button. This is actually kind of a hazard. I need to figure out how to open this without almost knocking myself out. But you open the button and then it opens up like this, and you put your phone on the MagSafe right here, and it rotates 180 degrees, so you can get all the angles that you need. You can pull it up like this and adjust it here like this, and you can also adjust it one more time and move it around like this. So truly, you can get every single angle with that tripod, and all that goes to show is that your tripod is very important, and it will help with the efficiency of filming, your angles, and really getting those different variations of shots. I have been trying to play around more with the angles of my camera and trying to get more creative when it comes to that. So having a tripod that can go really tall but also really short and get you a variety of angles is going to be so helpful and one of the best investments for your small business. Your device matters only a little bit when filming content. You can film really good content with just your phone. It really doesn't matter what kind of phone you have, as long as you have enough storage on your phone to film these videos. I will put a screenshot on the screen of the current settings on my phone. I have a previous video where I talked all about content, where I shared with you guys the settings on my iPhone 14 Pro Max. So if you have an older phone, you might want to refer to that video. I'll try and find a screenshot and see if I can put it on the screen. But this is the settings for my new phone, which, by the way, this phone, oh my god, it is a literal beast when it comes to quality of videos. It is like on another level, and that's why I bought it, because my job is essentially content creation, and having a phone that can film in very good quality is something that is very important to me, because I am a stickler when it comes to quality. Those are the settings on my phone, and they do create humongous files. So if you don't have a lot of storage on your phone, maybe you want to record at 1080p instead of recording at 4K, because it can eat up a lot of storage. I have a huge interest in storage management, file management now that I got a new phone, and I don't use iCloud photos anymore because it is full. So I want to go in and do a whole video about content management and file management. So if you're interested in seeing something like that, let me know in the comments so I know that I should make it. File management is definitely something that is really important, but I have to really go into that. One tip when filming content that is really useful: on your Apple Watch, you can actually mirror your phone camera, and it's called like camera remote, where you can actually start and stop your video and see exactly what your phone sees on your wrist, so that you can see if you're getting the right angles, even if you're not able to actually see your phone screen. I think that that's so useful, and I've been using that so much lately, especially if I'm getting shots from the back of my body and kind of like peering over my shoulder. Typically, I have been loving that little Apple Watch feature, because it really cuts down the time of me having to start my video, sit down, go back, see if I'm even in the frame, and then do it all over again. It just cuts out some steps and makes it more efficient. One thing to think about when filming your content is to switch up your angles frequently. Keeping the viewer constantly engaged and something constantly happening on the screen is important in today's day and age, because we have very low attention spans, myself included. I love watching videos where the clips are quick, cut, fast paced, but the angles are switched differently, and I'm getting different angles from different sections of the video. Instead of positioning your phone in one angle for the entire video, maybe try putting it here and then getting a video from here, and then maybe getting a video from here. That way you can rotate the different angles when you go into the editing process, and it just makes your video more interesting and helps engage the viewer. One thing to do is to refer to your shot list when filming. I almost always have my laptop open when I am doing my shot list. Sometimes I've even went as far as printing out a page and having it with me. This is when I would do collection videos for my small business and having to film a lot of videos in one day for many different purposes and many different types of content. This shot list definitely helped make sure I get all the B-roll I need so that during editing I can go and adjust and make different videos with all that B-roll that I just filmed. Another thing to think about during your filming is your audio that you're going to have during editing. Is this going to be an ASMR reel? Do you want to hear the sounds of what you're doing? Does it need to be quiet in your area, or can you be talking, playing music, because the clip's going to be muted during editing? That's something to think about. A lot of the time I film my videos when I'm not speaking and I put my headphones on so I can listen to music if I want to, or watch a video, so that my phone is only capturing the sounds of what I'm doing in kind of like an ASMR filming style, so that way I can repurpose those clips for either an ASMR video and a video with music over top, or just have different B-roll for different purposes. The emphasis on standout content happens during editing. This is where you're going to make your video come to life and take all of the things that you just did and really show and visualize your final concept. When it comes to editing content, I use two different programs. My main short form editing is CapCut. I love CapCut for short form. It has so many options and the phone app is so easy to use, and it makes editing go super fast and seamless. So I like CapCut for short form editing. When I'm filming brand deals and sponsorships, I tend to use Final Cut only for the reason that it has audio scrubbing. Audio scrubbing is where you can move your cursor over the timeline and hear what you're saying, whereas CapCut on the phone does not have that option. So it's very difficult for me to cut out when I'm talking. Sometimes when I'm filming sponsorships, I will be a talking head and then I have to scrub out my pauses and the words that I repeat. But when I'm filming like other content for my small business, when it's sewing or days in the life or etc., I don't have to do audio scrubbing because I'm not saying anything. One thing that I like to do before I actually edit my video is to organize the content that I just took. So typically I will spend an entire day filming content and B-roll. With those clips, I will then go in and organize them into different videos through my Photos app by creating albums with all the B-roll for the specific concept. I do this by creating emojis. I have emojis for my vlog clips for my long form videos, and that's completely separate from all of my short form clips because I film them horizontally. And then I have two emojis, one for videos that need to be edited, so raw footage, and then one for videos that have been edited so that I can delete those albums, sort through the B-roll, and then figure out what B-roll I want to keep and what B-roll I can delete. With that being said, I definitely think that this is a topic for another video on how I really organize my content and camera roll. So again, that can go in with the Notion video. If you want to see that, let me know. Basically, just organize your B-roll into video albums based on the B-roll and your concept. This makes importing your footage into CapCut so much easier. That way you're not trying to search for clips because they're already all in one album. One thing that takes the longest for me in editing is cutting the clips. I tend to cut my clips around 0.3 to 0.5 seconds each, and this can definitely take hours. Depending on how much footage I have and how long I need the video to be, this takes a long time and it can get very tedious as I'm constantly scrubbing through the footage, cutting, moving over a little bit, cutting, deleting, doing the same.
Scrubbing, cutting, deleting.
So it can be very tedious, and it is something that you get better with practice. When I first started editing my videos with fast-paced cuts, it was very, very tedious and it took me a long time. Now that I've been doing it for like 8 to 10 months, almost a year, I have found that I am so much quicker with it as I know kind of where the action starts. I can clip it, cut it, and delete it really fast, and I've just gotten better with it. So it's okay if your first couple videos take you a long time. You will get better with it as you continue to practice more. My one tip for cutting your clips is to cut your clip when you, at the beginning of the start of an action, and then you cut it when you finish that action. So you're always having something moving on the screen instead of I'm moving this to the side and then it waits for a couple seconds and then I'm unraveling it and then it waits for a couple seconds and then I'm doing something else. That can be annoying, and you want to keep your viewers' attention. You don't want to have them scroll away from your video. So having something always moving on the screen will definitely help you. Another thing that I've been loving doing is adding closed captions on the screen and having them be like a aesthetic. This has helped so much with viewer engagement, I think, because since I started doing that, more people have been watching my videos. So I think that it's helping, and I really love doing this. I like to play around with the captions sometimes. I have like a very specific style of caption that I like doing on most of my videos, but on a video where I'm having more fun with it, or on a one-off fun creative video, I will play around with it, make the text bold, make it bright, make it fun, and just have some fun with it. You want to use trending audios sparingly and make sure that you're not constantly posting what's the newest fad. This is going to bring a lot of viewers to your page that aren't loyal, and I'm not saying this doesn't work, because this does work for some people, but if you want to really build a loyal and authentic brand, definitely posting videos that are true to your style and your content and yourself are going to be the ones that have people stick around and make people want to follow you and want to support you. When it comes to my posting strategy, I am happy to say that I finally have one, because I used to just post whatever whenever I wanted. And the thing about content and social media and growing your following, it's about consistency, but it's also about quality of videos. It's not about how many videos you can post. It's not about posting every day at the same time without fail every single day, 7 days a week. It's about consistency. I aim to post 3 to 5 short form videos a week. This is what works for me, because like I said, content right now is my full-time job. So I have a lot of time to film and edit and post these videos. You do what works for you. This is my content schedule, and this is in hopes to kind of give you inspiration for your own. I like to cross post my TikToks, Reels, and Shorts. But what I like to do, because again, I have a lot of time to do this, but I like to change up the vibes of the videos across the platforms ever so slightly. I'm not completely changing the video, but I'll take one long 1-minute tutorial video on TikTok, and then I will make it into, say, a 35-second video for Instagram with no voiceover, with just the clips. And then on Shorts, I will condense it down even more to a 15 to 20-second video with no voiceover and upload that to Shorts. This is so that my viewers aren't watching the same exact video across all 3 platforms 3 to 5 times a week. It can get very exhausting, and I feel like it also opens up the chance of bringing in new viewers instead of just recycling the same thing over and over again. Recycling the same video on all 3 platforms can be a very great way to grow and get eyes on your page. So I'm not knocking that. I'm just telling you that that's what I do, is I like to change it up. But if you don't have a lot of time already to make content, using one video across all 3 platforms is so encouraged, and definitely something that you should do. I rotate my content pillars often, like I mentioned at the beginning. I constantly am changing up what topics I'm posting about within the same 4 pillars. I also rotate the length of my videos, again going back to the low effort and high effort videos. Usually high effort videos are longer, low effort videos are usually shorter. I started by creating one signature series on my social media pages. So on my TikTok, it is going to be my sewing tutorials, and then on my Instagram, it is going to be the quick sewing clips. Those are going to help kind of establish a ground base for my content, and then we can build from there. If you want to prioritize saves on your pages, then post educational content, tutorial style videos, things that help other people, tip videos, those really help, behind the scenes, process videos, your favorite products. If you want to prioritize shares, then you want to post relatable content. I find that my storytelling videos, my planning videos often generate a much more shareable response, because people can connect to it and share it with other people. And that is my full entire content planning process. I hope that this video was helpful for some of you guys, and whether you're a small business owner or a content creator, or just somebody who likes to craft and who doesn't even want to make content, I hope that you were able to learn something from this video and found it interesting. I love hearing about other people's creative process and seeing how they work and how they do things, and sometimes it helps me figure out tiny little gaps in my own processes. I'm a very process-oriented person, if we couldn't tell, so I love just getting to really refine my process. Like I was mentioning in this video, I have been creating my Notion dashboard for the past 3.5 years, and at the end of each year, the Notion dashboard looks completely different than at the beginning of the year, which is so fun, which means I'm constantly using it, refining it, and adjusting it to match my process better. So that video will be coming out soon, in about a month or so. I'm not sure when you guys are seeing this, but if you're watching this way past when it was uploaded, I should have the link up here and in the description to the Notion dashboard. I'll have the link to the Notion short form planning page in the description that you can go ahead and duplicate and use it for your own content planning. And yeah, if you guys want a full video on on long form planning content because I feel like that might be interesting, and like my filming setup and the equipment that I use, then let me know in the comments below. And if you'd like something on how I organize my content, how I manage my SD cards, file management, let me know in the comments below what kind of videos you'd like to see from me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It would be so amazing if you could subscribe to the channel so we can become besties, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.